I'm glad you're here. Stay with me until the end, and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. My name is Patricia O'Connor. I'm 78 years old. I live in a small apartment in Chicago now, but for 5 years, I lived in a nursing home that my daughter and son-in-law chose for me. They picked it because it was cheap. They picked it because it was far away. They picked it because they didn't want to see me anymore. I was a teacher for 40 years. I taught 3rd grade in the same school, in the same classroom, for almost my entire career. I loved those children. I loved watching them learn to read, to write, to think. I loved the parents who trusted me with their most precious things. I loved the feeling of making a difference. I had one daughter. Her name is Catherine. She was the light of my life. When she was born, I promised myself that I would never let anything hurt her. I kept that promise for 30 years. I was there for every scraped knee, every broken heart, every moment of doubt. I was there when she graduated from college. I was there when she met the man she would marry. I was there when she walked down the aisle. The man she married was named Richard. Richard was handsome. Richard was charming. Richard was a salesman. He could sell anything to anyone. He sold himself to my daughter as a loving husband. He sold himself to me as a devoted son-in-law. I didn't trust him. I saw something in his eyes that I didn't like. Something cold. Something calculating. Something that looked at me like I was a problem to be solved, not a person to be loved. But Catherine loved him. And because I loved her, I kept my mouth shut. I smiled at their wedding. I held my tongue when he made jokes at my expense. I pretended not to notice when he looked at me with that cold, hard stare. I should have said something. I should have fought. I should have protected my daughter from the man who would eventually steal everything from her. But I didn't. And 5 years later, Richard convinced Catherine to put me in a nursing home. The conversation happened on a Sunday. Catherine and Richard came for dinner. I made pot roast, Catherine's favorite. I set the table with the good china. I wanted everything to be perfect. Richard didn't eat. He sat at the table, pushing his food around his plate, looking at me with that cold stare. "Mom," Catherine said. Her voice was strange. Careful. Like she was reading from a script. "What is it, sweetheart?" "Richard and I have been talking. We're worried about you. You're getting older. The house is too big for you. You're alone too much." "I'm fine," I said. "I like my house. I like my garden. I like my independence." Richard put down his fork. He looked at me. "Patricia, we're not asking. We're telling. You're going into a home." I stared at him. "A home? What kind of home?" "A nursing home. We've already found one. It's in Indiana. It's affordable. It's safe. You'll have people to take care of you." I looked at Catherine. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. "Catherine," I said. "Is this what you want?" She didn't answer. She looked at Richard. He nodded. She turned back to me. "Mom, we can't take care of you anymore. We have our own lives. We have our own problems. We can't be responsible for you." "You're not responsible for me," I said. "I'm responsible for myself. I've been taking care of myself for 70 years. I don't need you to put me in a home." Richard stood up. He walked to the door. "The car will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pack a bag. Just what you need. The rest will be donated." I looked at Catherine. I looked at my daughter, the child I had raised alone, the child I had sacrificed everything for. "Catherine," I said. "Please. Don't do this." She started to cry. But she didn't say no. She didn't fight. She just cried. The car came at 10 a.m. the next morning. A white van with tinted windows. A man in a uniform came to the door. He took my suitcase. He took my arm. He led me to the van. Catherine stood on the porch. She was crying. Richard stood behind her, his hand on her shoulder, his face hard. "Goodbye, Mom," Catherine said. "Goodbye, sweetheart." I got in the van. I didn't look back. The nursing home was called Golden Acres. It was a gray building on a gray road in a gray town. The windows were small. The doors were locked. The smell was the smell of old people and medicine and hopelessness. My room was small. A bed. A dresser. A window that looked out at a parking lot. The walls were beige. The floors were linoleum. The air was cold. The other residents were old. Older than me. Some of them didn't know where they were. Some of them didn't know their own names. Some of them sat in wheelchairs in the hallway, staring at nothing, waiting for something that would never come. I didn't belong there. I wasn't confused. I wasn't sick. I wasn't unable to take care of myself. I was 73 years old, and I could still garden, still cook, still drive. But Richard had convinced the doctors that I was losing my mind. He had convinced the social workers that I was a danger to myself. He had convinced everyone who mattered that I needed to be locked away. I tried to fight. I called lawyers. I wrote letters. I talked to anyone who would listen. But Richard had money. Richard had power. Richard had convinced my daughter to sign the papers. No one believed me. No one helped me. No one came. I spent 5 years in Golden Acres. 5 years of bland food and cold hallways. 5 years of watching the same television shows, playing the same bingo games, listening to the same complaints from the same people. 5 years of waiting for someone to visit. Catherine came once. Once in 5 years. She sat in the plastic chair beside my bed. She held my hand. She cried. "I'm sorry, Mom," she said. "I'm so sorry." "Then get me out of here," I said. "Take me home." She shook her head. "I can't. Richard won't let me. He says it's not safe. He says you need to be here. Richard doesn't care about what's safe. Richard cares about what's easy. And I'm not easy. I'm a problem. And he put me here so he wouldn't have to deal with me." She didn't say anything. She just cried. Richard never came. Not once. He didn't visit. He didn't call. He didn't send a card. He erased me from his life the way he had erased me from my daughter's life. I thought about him sometimes. About the coldness in his eyes. About the way he looked at me like I was nothing. About the way he had convinced my daughter to betray me. I thought about what I would say to him if I ever saw him again. The words I had rehearsed in my head 1,000 times. The anger I had carried for years. I didn't think it would ever happen. I didn't think I would ever see him again. I was wrong. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in my room at Golden Acres, looking at the parking lot, watching the cars come and go. My phone rang. The caller ID said unknown. "Hello? Patricia." The voice was familiar. It was a voice I hadn't heard in years. It was Richard. "Richard," I said. "What do you want?" He was quiet for a moment. I heard him breathing. I heard him trying to find words. "I need your help," he said. "My business is failing. The bank is about to foreclose. I need you to sign some papers. I need you to release the money from your house. It's the only thing that can save me." I sat down on my bed. I looked at the parking lot. The cars were coming and going. People were living their lives. Normal people doing normal things. "You put me in here," I said. "You convinced my daughter to lock me away. You stole 5 years of my life. And now you want me to help you?" I know what I did was wrong, he said. I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm asking anyway. I'm asking because I don't have anyone else. I'm asking because I'm going to lose everything. I'm asking because I don't know what to do. I was quiet for a long time. The clock ticked. The fluorescent lights hummed. The world was quiet. Where is Catherine? I asked. She left. 6 months ago. She couldn't take it anymore. She took the children and moved to her sister's house. I haven't seen them since. I felt something cold settle in my chest. He had taken my daughter from me. He had taken my grandchildren from me. He had taken 5 years of my life. And now he had lost everything. I'll think about it, I said. I'll let you know. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the decision I had to make, the choice between revenge and redemption, that's the part of this story that changed everything. That's the part that taught me who I really was. If you've ever had to decide whether to help someone who hurt you, type help in the comments. Let me know you understand. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in my narrow bed at Golden Acres, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sounds of the nursing home. The coughs. The moans. The whispers of people who had been forgotten. I thought about Richard. About the man who had stolen 5 years of my life. About the man who was now begging me to save him. I thought about the day they brought me here. The white van. The uniformed man. Catherine crying on the porch. Richard standing behind her, his hand on her shoulder, his face hard. I thought about the way he looked at me. Like I was nothing. Like I was a problem he had finally solved. I thought about the 5 years I had lost. 5 years of my garden growing wild. 5 years of my house sitting empty. 5 years of my friends wondering where I had gone. 5 years of being locked away from the world because a man who didn't love me decided I was inconvenient. I thought about Catherine. About my daughter, who had believed him instead of me. About the daughter who had visited once in 5 years. About the daughter who had let her husband steal her mother. I thought about what Richard said. I need your help. The words echoed in my head. The man who had destroyed my life was asking me to save his. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to help him. I didn't know if I was going to let him lose everything. I didn't know if I was being kind or foolish, generous or vengeful. But I knew that I needed to see him. I needed to look him in the eyes. I needed to hear what he had to say. He came to the nursing home the next day. I was in the common room, sitting by the window, watching the rain. The other residents were watching television, playing cards, sleeping in their chairs. No one paid attention to the man in the expensive suit who walked through the door. Richard looked older. His hair was gray at the temples. His face was lined. He was thinner than I remembered. He looked like someone who had been carrying something heavy for a very long time. He saw me. He walked to the window. He stood there for a moment, looking at me, not speaking. Patricia, he said. Thank you for seeing me. Richard, I said. You look terrible. He smiled. It was a weak smile. Tired. I feel terrible. Sit down. He sat in the chair beside me. He looked at the other residents. He looked at the television. He looked at the rain on the window. I never wanted to come here, he said. I always told myself I would come. I always told myself I would visit. But I never did. I know. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything. I know it doesn't change what I did. But I'm sorry. I looked at him. I looked at the man who had stolen my life. I looked at the man who was sitting in a plastic chair in a nursing home, apologizing. Why are you here, Richard? Why now? Why not 5 years ago? Why not when I was begging for someone to believe me? Why not when my daughter was crying on the porch? He was quiet for a long time. The rain fell. The clock ticked. The world was quiet. Because I was a coward, he said. Because I was too proud to admit I was wrong. Because I was too scared to face what I had done. Because I thought if I stayed away, you would forget. I thought if I disappeared, you would forgive me. You put me in here, I said. You convinced my daughter to lock me away. You took 5 years of my life. And you want me to forgive you because you're sorry? He put his head in his hands. His shoulders shook. I know what I did was unforgivable, he said. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm asking anyway. I'm asking because I don't have anyone else. I'm asking because I'm going to lose everything. I'm asking because I don't know what to do. I looked at him. I looked at this man who had destroyed my life. I looked at this man who was sitting in a nursing home, crying, asking for my help. Tell me about the business, I said. He looked up. His eyes were red. His face was wet. I started a construction company 10 years ago. It was doing well. We had contracts. We had employees. We had a future. But I made bad investments. I borrowed money I couldn't pay back. I took risks that didn't pay off. He stopped. He wiped his face with his sleeve. The bank is about to foreclose. They're going to take everything. The house. The cars. The business. I have nothing left. The only thing that can save me is the money from your house. The house you inherited from your parents. The house you've owned for 40 years. My house, I said. The house you put me in here to steal. I wasn't trying to steal it. I was trying to protect it. I thought if you were here, the house would be safe. I thought if you were here, I could figure out a way to pay off the debts. I thought, he stopped. He couldn't finish. You thought you could use me. You thought you could lock me away and take what was mine. You thought you could destroy my life and I would never fight back. I was wrong. I was wrong about everything. And I've spent 5 years regretting it. I sat in my chair. I looked at the rain. I thought about my house. The house my father had built with his own hands. The house where I had grown up, where I had raised Catherine, where I had planned to grow old. The house that Richard had taken from me. Why should I help you? I asked. Why should I give you anything? You stole my house. You stole my freedom. You stole 5 years of my life. You took everything from me. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. His face was the face of someone who had been carrying something for a very long time. Because I'm asking, he said. Because I don't have anyone else. Because I'm begging you. Because if you don't help me, I'm going to lose everything. My business. My home. My future. Everything I've worked for. You should have thought about that before you put me in here. I know. I know. And I will never forgive myself for what I did. I will never forgive myself for the years I took from you. I will never forgive myself for the pain I caused. He stood up. He walked to the window. He looked at the rain. Catherine won't talk to me. The children won't talk to me. My friends have abandoned me. I have nothing left. No one. Just you. He turned around. He looked at me. You're the only one who can save me. And I know I don't deserve it. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm asking anyway. I sat in my chair. I looked at him. I looked at this man who had destroyed my life. I looked at this man who was standing in a nursing home, crying, asking for my help. I'll think about it, I said. I'll let you know. He nodded. He walked to the door. He stopped. He didn't turn around. I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for the person I was. I'm sorry for everything. He walked out. I sat by the window. I watched him get into his car. I watched him drive away. I watched the rain fall on the parking lot. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to help him. I didn't know if I was being kind or foolish, generous or vengeful. But I knew one thing. I was not the woman he had put in this nursing home. I was not the woman who had been locked away and forgotten. I was not the woman who gave up because the world had given up on her. I was someone else. Someone stronger. Someone who had survived. Someone who held the keys to his future in her hands. The next day, I called a lawyer. A woman named Maria who specialized in elder law. I told her my story. She listened. She asked questions. She took notes. "Mrs. O'Connor," she said. "What do you want to do?" "I want to get out of here," I said. "I want to go home. I want my life back." She was quiet for a moment. "That's going to be difficult. Your daughter signed the papers. Your son-in-law had you declared incompetent. The courts are going to be reluctant to reverse that decision. I don't care how difficult it is. I want to try." She nodded. "I'll do everything I can." The weeks that followed were a blur of paperwork and phone calls and meetings. Maria filed motions. She talked to judges. She talked to social workers. She fought for me in ways no one had fought for me in 5 years. Richard didn't call. He didn't visit. He didn't send flowers. He was waiting. He was hoping. He was praying that I would sign his papers and save his business. I didn't sign. I couldn't. Not yet. Not until I was free. The hearing was on a Friday. The courtroom was small. The judge was a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a tired face. Maria sat beside me. Richard sat across the room with his lawyer. Catherine wasn't there. She had sent a letter. She said she couldn't face me. The judge read the reports. She listened to the testimony. She asked me questions. "Mrs. O'Connor," she said, "do you understand why you were placed in the nursing home?" "I was placed here because my son-in-law wanted my house," I said. "I was placed here because he convinced my daughter that I was incompetent. I was placed here because I was inconvenient." The judge looked at Richard. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. "Mr. O'Connor," she said, "do you have anything to say?" He stood up. He walked to the front of the courtroom. He looked at me. He looked at the judge. "I was wrong," he said. "I was wrong about everything. I convinced my wife to put her mother in a nursing home because I wanted her house. I wanted to sell it and pay off my debts. I was greedy. I was selfish. I was cruel." He stopped. He put his hand over his mouth. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from her. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. I'm sorry for everything." The judge looked at him. She looked at me. "Mrs. O'Connor," she said, "what do you want?" I stood up. I walked to the front of the courtroom. I looked at the judge. I looked at Richard. I looked at the woman who had been locked away and forgotten. "I want to go home," I said. "I want my life back. I want the years I lost. I want my daughter to look at me without shame. I want my grandchildren to know my name." The judge nodded. "I'm granting your release. You're free to go. The nursing home can no longer hold you." I started to cry. Maria put her arm around me. Richard stood in the corner, his face pale, his hands shaking. "Thank you," I said. "Thank you." Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the decision about Richard's papers, the conversation with Catherine, the moment I finally went home, that's the part of this story that I didn't expect. That's the part that taught me what it really means to be free. I walked out of the courthouse a free woman. The sun was bright. The air was fresh. The world was loud and busy and alive. I stood on the steps, breathing, crying, laughing. Maria stood beside me. She was smiling. "Where do you want to go?" she asked. "Home," I said. "I want to go home." The drive to my house took an hour. I watched the city give way to suburbs, the suburbs give way to countryside. The trees were green. The fields were gold. The sky was blue. I had forgotten how beautiful the world could be. We pulled into the driveway. My house was still there. The paint was peeling. The garden was overgrown. The porch sagged. But it was still there. It was still mine. I walked to the front door. My hands were shaking. I put the key in the lock. I turned it. The door opened. The house smelled like dust and time. The furniture was covered in sheets. The windows were dark. The air was still. But the house was there. The bones were there. The rooms were there. The kitchen where I had cooked. The living room where I had read. The stairs where I had watched Catherine grow up. I walked through the room slowly, touching the walls, the furniture, the photographs. I was home. After 5 years, I was finally home. The first week was hard. The house needed work. The garden needed attention. I needed to remember how to live alone. Maria helped me find a handyman. A young man named Carlos who fixed the porch, painted the walls, mowed the lawn. He didn't ask questions. He didn't judge. He just worked. I started gardening again. My hands remembered what to do. The soil was rich. The seeds were waiting. The flowers would bloom again. I would make sure of it. Richard didn't call. He didn't visit. He didn't send flowers. He was waiting. He was hoping. He was praying that I would sign his papers and save his business. I didn't sign. I couldn't. Not yet. I needed time. I needed to think. I needed to decide who I wanted to be. The papers arrived on a Tuesday. A thick envelope with a lawyer's return address. I opened it. Legal documents. Lots of them. Pages and pages of small print. I didn't understand most of it. But I understood the bottom line. Richard needed my signature. He needed me to release the equity in my house. He needed me to save him. I put the papers on the kitchen table. I looked at them. I thought about the man who had sent them. The man who had stolen 5 years of my life. The man who was now begging me to save him. I thought about what I would do. What I should do. What I could do. I could refuse. I could let him lose everything. I could watch him suffer the way I had suffered. I could be the person who held a grudge, who chose revenge, who let him drown. I could agree. I could sign the papers. I could save his business. I could be the bigger person. I could prove that I was better than him. I could do something else. Something in between. Something that would remind him, every day, of what he had done and what I had lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was right. I didn't know what was fair. The call came on a Thursday. It was from Catherine. I hadn't spoken to her since the hearing. She had sent a letter. She had said she was sorry. But she hadn't called. She hadn't visited. She hadn't looked me in the eyes. "Mom," she said. Her voice was quiet. It was shaking. "Catherine. I heard you're home. I heard you got out. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I didn't help. I'm sorry for everything. Why didn't you come?" I asked. "Why didn't you fight for me? Why did you let him put me in that place?" She was quiet for a long time. I heard her breathing. I heard her crying. Because I was scared, she said. Because I was weak. Because I believed him when he said you needed help. Because I didn't want to see the truth. Because I was a coward. You were my daughter. I trusted you. I loved you. And you threw me away. I know. I know what I did. And I will never forgive myself for it. I will never forgive myself for the years I took from you. I will never forgive myself for the pain I caused. She stopped. I heard her take a breath. I want to see you, she said. I want to look you in the eyes. I want to tell you I'm sorry. I want to try to make things right. Come tomorrow, I said. I'll be here. She came at noon. I watched her car pull into the driveway. She got out. She was thinner than I remembered. Her hair was shorter. Her face was pale. She looked like someone who had been carrying something heavy for a very long time. She walked to the front door. She stood there for a moment, not knocking, just standing. I opened the door before she could knock. She looked at me. Her eyes were red. Her face was wet. Mom, she said. Catherine. She fell into my arms. She held me. I held her. We stood in the doorway, the mother and the daughter, the women who had been broken and were trying to find their way back. I'm sorry, she said. I'm so sorry. I know, I said. I know. We sat in the kitchen. The same kitchen where she had grown up. The same table where we had eaten dinner. The same window where I had watched her play in the yard. She told me about the years I had missed. About the children. About the divorce. About the man she had married and the man he had become. He changed, she said. After we put you in the home, he changed. He was cruel. He was cold. He didn't care about me. He didn't care about the children. He only cared about money. Why did you stay? Because I was scared. Because I didn't have anywhere else to go. Because I thought I deserved it. Because I thought I had made my bed and I had to lie in it. She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I should have left sooner. I should have fought for you. I should have been the daughter you deserved. You're here now, I said. That's something. That's not nothing. She asked about Richard. About the papers. About what I was going to do. He's desperate, she said. He's losing everything. The bank is going to take the house next week. He's been drinking. He's been crying. He's been begging me to talk to you. What do you think I should do? She was quiet for a moment. She looked at her hands. I don't know, she said. Part of me wants you to refuse. Part of me wants him to suffer the way we suffered. Part of me wants him to lose everything. And the other part? The other part knows that revenge won't heal anything. The other part knows that hurting him won't make us whole. The other part knows that you're a better person than he is. I looked at her. At my daughter. At the woman who had betrayed me and was trying to find her way back. I'll think about it, I said. I'll let you know. The next day, I called Richard. I told him to come to the house. He said he would be there in an hour. He arrived at 2 p.m. He was wearing a suit that was too big for him. His hair was messy. His face was pale. He looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. He stood in my kitchen. The same kitchen where he had told me I was going to a nursing home. The same kitchen where my daughter had cried. The same kitchen where my life had been stolen. Patricia, he said. Thank you for seeing me. Sit down. He sat at the table. He looked at the papers. He looked at me. Have you decided? He asked. I've decided. He waited. His hands were shaking. I'm not going to sign the papers, I said. His face went pale. His hands went to his mouth. Please, he said. Please, Patricia. I'm begging you. If you don't sign, I'm going to lose everything. My business. My home. My future. Everything I've worked for. You should have thought about that before you put me in that nursing home. I know. I know. And I will never forgive myself for what I did. I will never forgive myself for the years I took from you. But please. Please don't punish me for the rest of my life. I looked at him. I looked at this man who had destroyed my life. I looked at this man who was sitting in my kitchen, crying, begging for my help. I'm not going to sign the papers, I said again. But I'm not going to let you lose everything either. He looked at me. His face was confused. I don't understand. I'm not going to give you the money. You don't deserve it. You haven't earned it. But I'm not going to watch you drown. I'm going to help you find another way. He stared at me. His eyes were wide. Why? He asked. Why would you do that? After what I did to you? Because I'm not you, I said. Because I don't let people drown when I can save them. Because I don't punish people for being weak. Because I'm not the person who holds on to anger for 5 years and lets it destroy everything. Because I want to be free. He started to cry. He put his face in his hands. Thank you, he said. Thank you, Patricia. I don't deserve. I know, I said. But you're getting it anyway. Don't make me regret it. I helped him find a financial advisor. A woman named Susan who specialized in small business turnaround. She reviewed his books. She looked at his debts. She made a plan. It wasn't easy. It wasn't quick. It took months of hard work and sacrifice. Richard sold his car. He moved into a smaller apartment. He let go of his employees. He started over. But he didn't lose everything. He kept his business. He kept his dignity. He kept his future. He called me every week. He told me about his progress. He thanked me for my help. He apologized for what he had done. I listened. I didn't say much. I didn't need to. He knew how I felt. He knew what he had done. He knew that I had given him a chance he didn't deserve. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the years that followed, the changes that came, the thing I finally understood, that's the part of this story that taught me what it really means to be free. If you've ever had to let go of something you thought you would carry forever, type let go in the comments. Let me know you understand. The years after Richard's crisis were different. Not perfect. Nothing about healing is perfect. But different. I was home. I was free. I had my garden, my house, my life back. The roses bloomed again. The vegetables grew. The world was bright and alive. Catherine came to visit every Sunday. She brought the children. Emma was 12. Jacob was 10. They had my eyes and their father's smile. They were beautiful. They were curious. They wanted to know everything about me. Grandma, Emma said one day. We were in the garden, planting tomatoes. Why didn't we ever come to your house before? I looked at Catherine. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. Because I was sick, Catherine said. Because I wasn't ready. Because I made mistakes. But I'm better now. And I'm never going to make those mistakes again. Emma looked at me. Her eyes were wise beyond her years. I'm glad you're better, she said. I'm glad we can come here now. She hugged me. I held her. I held my granddaughter for the first time in years. Me too, I said. Me too. Richard kept his distance. He called sometimes. He sent cards on my birthday. He didn't visit. He didn't push. He gave me space. The way I had given him space. The way we both needed to heal. I heard things about him. He was doing well. His business was stable. He had stopped drinking. He was seeing a therapist. He was trying to be someone else. Someone better. Someone who deserved the chance I had given him. I didn't know if I had forgiven him. I didn't know if I ever would. But I knew that I had stopped being angry. I had stopped carrying the weight of what he did. I had stopped letting the past define who I was. And that, I realized, was more important than forgiveness. That was freedom. The garden grew. The roses bloomed. The vegetables were plentiful. I spent hours outside, my hands in the soil, my face to the sun. The work was hard. But it was good. It was the kind of work that reminded me I was alive. Catherine helped me. She learned to prune the roses, to weed the beds, to harvest the vegetables. She was clumsy at first. She made mistakes. She killed a few plants. But she kept trying. She kept learning. She kept growing. "I'm sorry," she said one day. We were sitting on the porch, drinking lemonade, watching the sunset. "I'm sorry for the years I lost. I'm sorry for the time I can never give back." "You're here now," I said. "That's something. That's not nothing. But it's not enough. It will never be enough. I can never make up for what I did. Maybe not. But you can try. You can be here. You can be present. You can let me know you. The real you. Not the woman who let her husband steal her mother. The woman who is trying to be better." She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. "I want to be better," she said. "I want to be the daughter you deserve." "Then show me," I said. "Show me with time. Show me with actions. Show me that you're not the same person who let them lock me away." She nodded. She wiped her eyes. "I will," she said. "Every day. For the rest of my life." The grandchildren came to stay with me sometimes. Weekends. School breaks. Summers. They slept in the room that used to be Catherine's. They played in the garden. They helped me bake cookies. They told me about their friends, their school, their dreams. Emma wanted to be a teacher. Like me. She said she wanted to help children the way I had helped children. She said she wanted to make a difference. "You can do that," I said. "You can do anything you want. Even if I'm scared? Especially if you're scared. That's when it matters most." Liam wanted to be a gardener. He said he loved the way things grew. He said he loved the feeling of his hands in the soil. He said he wanted to grow food for people who didn't have enough. "That's a good thing to do," I said. "That's a good thing." Richard came to see me one last time. It was a Sunday. Catherine was there with the children. He stood in the doorway, looking in, not sure if he was welcome. "Come in," I said. "Sit down." He sat at the kitchen table. The same table where he had told me I was going to a nursing home. The same table where he had begged me to save his business. The same table where my daughter had cried. "I wanted to thank you," he said. "For saving my business. For giving me a chance. For being the person you are." "I didn't do it for you," I said. "I did it for me. I did it because I didn't want to be the person who let someone drown. I did it because I wanted to be free. I know. I know you didn't do it for me. But I'm grateful anyway. And I want you to know that I've changed. I'm not the same person I was. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be someone who deserves the chance you gave me." I looked at him. I looked at this man who had stolen my life. I looked at this man who was sitting in my kitchen, trying to be someone else. "I see you trying," I said. "I see you changing. And that's something. That's not nothing." He nodded. He stood up. He walked to the door. "Goodbye, Patricia," he said. "Thank you for everything. Goodbye, Richard." Take care of yourself. Here's what I've learned. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about letting go of something that was never yours to carry. It's about choosing to be free. It's about building a life that is yours, a life that no one can take away, a life that is enough. Richard took something from me. He took my freedom. He took my house. He took 5 years of my life that I will never get back. But I built something new. I built a garden. I built a relationship with my daughter. I built a life that was mine. And when he came to me, broken and desperate, I didn't turn him away. I didn't sign his papers. I didn't give him the money he wanted. But I helped him find another way. I gave him a chance. I let him be part of my life. Not because he deserved it, but because I wanted to be the kind of person who gives chances. Because I wanted to be the kind of person who doesn't let the past decide the future. Because I wanted to be free. I didn't forgive him. Not the way you think. I didn't wake up one day and decide to let go of the anger. I didn't have a moment of clarity where I understood what he did and why. I didn't find peace in the knowledge that he was sorry. But I let go. I let go because I was tired. I was tired of carrying something that wasn't mine to carry. I was tired of being angry at someone who didn't matter anymore. I was tired of being the person who was broken. I was tired of being the person who couldn't move on. I let go. And when I let go, I realized something. The person who broke me was not the person who saved me. I was the one who saved me. I was the one who built a life from nothing. I was the one who became someone. I was the one who let go. I am Patricia O'Connor. I am 78 years old. I am a retired teacher. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. I am a gardener. I am the woman who was locked away and forgotten, who found her way home, who chose to be free. I am not the same person I was when Richard put me in that nursing home. I am not the same person I was when I walked out of that courthouse. I am someone else. Someone who has learned to forgive. Someone who has learned to let go. Someone who has learned to love. I still miss the years I lost. I still grieve the time I can never get back. I still wish things had been different. But I am not alone anymore. I have Catherine. I have Emma and Jacob. I have my garden. I have my house. I have my life. I have a family. The family that was taken from me. The family that I fought to get back. The roses are blooming. The vegetables are growing. The sun is warm. The world is bright. Catherine is sitting beside me on the porch. The children are playing in the garden. Richard is somewhere else, living his life, trying to be better. I am at peace. Not because everything is perfect. Not because the past is forgotten. But because I have chosen to be free. I have chosen to let go of the anger. I have chosen to let go of the hurt. I have chosen to let go of the person I was when they locked me away. I have chosen to be Patricia. The teacher. The mother. The grandmother. The gardener. The woman who survived. If you've ever been hurt by someone you trusted, if you've ever been locked away and forgotten, if you've ever wondered if you would ever be free, I want you to know something. You can be free. You can let go. You can build a life that is yours. It won't be the same. It will be different. But different can be beautiful. Different can be enough. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. You don't have to be the person who gives second chances. But you do have to be the person who shows up for yourself. Who fights for yourself. Who builds a life that is yours. And when the moment comes, when you have the chance to let go of the anger, the hurt, the weight of what was done to you, I hope you take it. Not because they deserve it. Because you do. Because you deserve to be free. My name is Patricia O'Connor. I was locked away. I was forgotten. I found my way home. And I am free. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to find your way back from something dark, leave a comment. Tell me your story. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. I have more stories to tell. And I want you to be here for them. My name is Patricia O'Connor. I am enough. I have always been enough. And so are you.